Well, I am across the street from the Denver Convention Center where the HardRock Summit is being held, and I'm here for a specific reason, and this is something that I just learned about on this trip, and it's something that I could not be more excited about. So I'm going to take you into this room and show you a little bit about what is just Minsanity, I guess would be the right way to call it. So let's go take a look. Okay, we are entering here, and we have our good friend Phil Persson and John Rackavan right here. And
so we are here.
I want to zoom in on what the liquid libations are here.
We have a good bottle here, straight from Kentucky, rare release, important for any interview.
And I love this because we've got a studio set up here, and Phil, tell us. I mean, basically, you're doing
so I'm
mineral
here
interviews
with Dr. John Rackavan, recording a second episode of the Minsanity podcast. This is a brainchild of myself and my friend Dan Mancano from Seattle, who is the brainchild of the Mineral Nation educational platform, which I encourage you all to check out, mineralnation.com. And Dan and I are launching a podcast. We're doing our initial recording here in Denver. John has been gracious enough to let us interview him for one of our upcoming episodes. We've got a little studio here set up in Denver, and essentially our plan is to launch in Tucson. So we'll do a series of recordings and interviews here for the Minsanity podcast in Denver, and then we'll do a release party in Tucson, and this is going to be a video and audio format. So there'll be videos on YouTube that'll be accessible to all you guys for free, and there'll be podcast episodes on Apple Podcasts and anywhere else you like to get podcasts. So we couldn't be more excited to get this rolling. Dan is my co-pilot on this. Brian, thank you for sharing this with the broader mineral community. I've been a podcast nerd for years and years. It's how I get through most of my days, listening to podcasts when I'm doing pretty much anything. And I thought, why can't there be a mineral podcast?
Totally.
So,
I mean, we need more of these. Tell me, what is the goal of Minsanity in terms of the information that you're going to be trying to pull forth from your guests?
We want Minsanity really to focus broadly on the human aspect of minerals. You know, we love our specimens, we love geology, we love mineralogy, we love competing and buying and selling and all that. But the human side of our hobby and our business is fascinating, and I think there's so many stories to be told, whether it's a museum curator, an academic researcher, a dealer, a collector, a raconteur, all these different categories of people that comprise our hobby, and there's too much not to share, and we're at a point where a lot of people have stories to tell, including some folks who may not be with us all that much longer, so
exactly.
we want to record and document as much as we can for posterity.
And what's going to be the frequency of the episodes?
We are aiming for a monthly release. So the initial release is going to be in Tucson, and we're going to hit you guys with a whole batch of episodes so that you can binge the show, you can get excited, you can find out what we're all about. And then from that point on, we're going to aim for a monthly release. You can subscribe on Apple Podcasts, you can subscribe on the YouTube channel, and you can look for a monthly release of the Minsanity podcast.
Okay, so the audio podcast will be on Apple. On the Apple
This will be on
podcast.
Apple, yeah,
right.
Essentially, so if you go into Apple Podcast in your app store and you
look up Minsanity.
You look up Minsanity, you become a subscriber, you get a little ping every month when we drop a new episode.
And then the video version of it
will be YouTube hosted.
would be YouTube.
So again, just like folks subscribe to BlueCap Productions, you can hop on the Minsanity page on YouTube, you can subscribe, you can check out our content for free anytime on there.
Love it. Looking forward to it. John, thank you for participating.
Thank you, Brian. Look forward to it.
And Phil, best of luck, brother.
Thank you.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers.